Hi everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of Singles Club, since the last one was a pilot, and it did better than I was personally expecting.
We're official.
So, this episode we have at the very least, one of us picked a very different song than they did this week, Tyler.
I had to top Story 2 in a way. In terms of storytelling, in terms of structure.
Yeah,
I had so many different ideas of how can I put it over the edge. I didn't do any of that. I chose The Bean Kicked In by Zack Fox.
It's
The Bean Kicked In.
I have to say I adore this song.
Yes.
You like it?
Yes. Yes.
I think I might add it to my Spotify, but like the first time I heard this, you said you posted this and then you said quote unquote comedy rap. And I was like, and then I opened it, I was like, okay, this is fun. It's just, so I'm a big fan of comedy music when it's done well, and I think this is done really well. It's just a bunch of nonsense thrown at you for like 2 minutes, and it's actually like well written and flows pretty well, and the lyrics are pretty clever.
I have a question for you, Tyler, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Is the bean just slang for Molly?
Yeah, for like a pill.
What is Molly?
Drug.
I know that, but like, what
get you
is
high?
What kind
Get you plur? Get you fucked.
Get
Okay.
fucked up.
So the song is about Molly.
Kind of. At the beginning, he says
It's not about Molly at the beginning.
He says he just took it, and like he's on a helicopter, so it's kind of affecting him. And then it kicks in at the end of the song. He interrupts himself.
Yeah.
He does.
Whenever I do the notes for these, I originally write down exactly what goes through my mind on the first listen, and then after that I listen through it a couple more times and go more in depth. And at that part where he starts saying the bean kicked in, I just wrote in all caps, the bean kicked in! The bean kicked in! Whoa! 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 Because it was just so fun. Like, my favorite line that caught me off guard and makes me laugh every time I listen to it
is it I wanna fuck?
Yes, I wanna fuck Michelle Obama. And I wrote in my lines, Michelle Obama, 8 question marks.
I love music. I love that it can bring us together like this.
It's so good.
So you know how last week on Tyler's song I wrote several paragraphs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote 2 sentences.
2 sentences.
I wrote, wow, period. This song is apeshit. Is the bean a slang term for Molly? And that's it. That's all I wrote. I don't like this song. Like, it's funny, don't get me wrong, but the rhymes in this song are so tortured.
Yeah.
It's way worse than any Lemon Demon rhyme you'll ever
Shut
fucking
up!
hear.
Don't make fun of
It's
him.
true.
Not
He does
on my
torture
watch.
his rhymes. He does torture his rhymes.
We're not
But
talking about this right now.
Jay,
We're not.
at least he didn't rhyme Hananin
With
melanin. Oh my god.
The rhymes aren't great, but I don't care because this is a funny song. But after the initial listen and really laughing at it, I went through the lyrics, and they're actually kinda clever. Like, I think my favorite is A, remember when Janet Jackson had her titty out? A, remember when Rihanna had her titty out? Free the nipple man, Jordan Peele, get it out. And both, it's funny just the repetition of, remember when these celebrities had their titties out? But then the lyric of Jordan Peele, get it out, where he references Jordan Peele's Get Out just to reference having titties out. Like, it was a funny, kind of clever reference, like, right after the intensely funny and just nonsense repeating the same joke twice that I really like.
It has the same, like, feeling as in the song Jaws by Lemon Demon, where he says, get it?
Get it?
Get it? It feels like that.
Yeah.
I do have to ask, though, what is he referring to when he says R.I.P. Left Eye?
I gotta go to Genius for that, but I believe it was a reference to like the last line I used, burning the house down.
Yeah, I Burned the House Down, R.I.P. Left Eye is in reference to the late R&B singer Lisa Left Eye Lopez, where she started a fire that burnt down her mansion, or her boyfriend's mansion, and I don't know if she died in it or if she died later.
What?
That's just kind of what it says in the annotation.
I don't think I like that line very much.
Burn the
knowing
house down
context.
is referring to like partying so
Going
hard.
apeshit.
Yeah, going ape shit.
I just think it's a weird allusion to make to like a real world death.
Yeah.
You don't know rap then.
I do like that he keeps the titty out rhyme scheme going on in this section. I hate to admit it, but his rhyme scheme, like style and flow, is really good and is something that someone who professionally does this as like a really serious person would do, that I would not like look at it and be like, wow, okay, this is dumb, because like he is a good rapper.
Yeah.
Because like he goes, Free the Nipple Man, Jordan Peele, Get It Out, and then it's a B line, and then back to that A line where he rhymes the outline with couch, which a little tortured, slant rhymey, but that's fine. But then he does the I Burn the House Down, R.I.P. Left Eye, and then the next A line is now I'm in Ireland and I'm sipping on that biggest stout, and I'm like, man, I didn't even notice that he was keeping that A line track going through.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I hate that that's good.
Another lyric that I really like, just because what I think I really like in comedic music and just kind of comedy in general is when you have one tiny bit of seriousness and it's such cognitive dissonance that you kind of go like, wait, what did he just say? Where like he goes from I just want to fuck Michelle Obama to let the felons out, I won't stop till everyone makes a first day out. It's just been like, hey, how about systematic racism make black people disproportionately more in jail than any other race? And it's just like, and then we go right back into it with, remember when Janet Jackson had her titty out? It's very serious and sobering for a second. And there's that cognitive dissonance where you go, wait a second. And it just makes you laugh a little bit more.
Analyzing this song, it genuinely feels like you are witnessing a man's thoughts as he is starting to trip on a drug.
I can't wait to show you guys Jesus is the one then.
That's that's actually in my notes. That's the first note after I first listened to this song. I said, oh, LMAO, this is the dude who did the "cause I got depression" song.
Oh my god, I should show you that. That's also good. We'll do that off of recording.
The whole I want to fuck Michelle Obama line then going, hey, systematic racism, really does genuinely feel like, oh wait.
Yeah, it
Like
you're laughing at it and then you hear that and you're like, hey, wait a second. And that's like my favorite trope in comedy is like you're funny, serious real quick for 1 second, breakneck, funny, and you're like, it makes you laugh even harder just because of the dissonance of it.
Yeah, but I think with that, I think we've talked this song to its comedic death.
10 minutes.
So I guess the next one is mine. And my song I picked this week is One Kind of People by Amigo the Devil. And Amigo the Devil's an odd artist.
I can tell.
It feels like he's trying to single-handedly bring back dark folk music.
Yeah.
And I say that not trying to like tamp down the fact that there's a lot of folk music resurgence, especially in the modern day, in that kind of style. But Amigo the Devil does it in like such a unique way. But it's y'all's turn to talk about my song, so I'll go ahead and let y'all go.
I liked it a lot. Not quite on first listen, and it's kind of a bell curve of how I enjoyed it, where I didn't really like it very much, and I listened to it more and I really liked it, and the more I listened to it, the more I didn't like it. Specifically because the song is broken up into 2 parts, where it has the 3.5 minutes of the main song, One Kind of People, and then there's like a minute of dead silence after that. And then it comes back.
There's like an act 2.
Yeah, it comes back with a completely different song, which I believe is titled Peanuts. So it's just kind of included at the tail end of this song for no reason.
Peanuts? I don't even see that.
Yeah, I would have saved this song genuinely if it didn't have that tacked on at the end, because I do really like the former song of One Kind of People. It's got some nice banjo. It has a lot of lyrics that I really like because there's so many double entendre lyrics that I absolutely love. Like, but I've heard you and me and the devil makes three, so hell, oh, is it me you're looking for? Like, I've never walked the line because I've rather shoved it in my nose. There's just so many lyrics like that, and I love lyrics with double meanings. Like, that's my absolute favorite thing. And I like the theme of the song a lot, because I also have the personal belief of, like, hey, we're all gonna fucking die someday. Not necessarily that life doesn't matter because we die, and it doesn't matter what you do in life because we die. It's just kind of, I don't think we should particularly worry too much about it, just because we're gonna die. Like, don't worry about the death itself, worry about right now. But I do like there's only one kind of people, the kind who die. And it's like, yeah, it's true.
It's such an emo lyric. You guys are so nihilistic.
I don't think I'm necessarily nihilistic in my kind of feeling towards death. I'm more like, we just really shouldn't worry about it because we do all die. Like, we could die tomorrow, we could die, 50 years from now. It's like, just live right now and be kind and be good,
Mm-hmm. Well, so the whole apotheosis of the song is not that nothing matters because we die, but rather that none of these things that we try to fight each other on and, literally murder other human beings over matter, like, in the long run and in the cosmic scale of anything, because in the end, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, white, whatever. Those don't make you different people. We're all the one people, the people who die.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. I do like the second half a bit by itself, just because I like how sloppy it is. Like, I know it's intentionally supposed to be a guy, like, kind of workshopping a song live. One thing I really like about the second half is that you can hear that the vocal track keeps moving from, like, ear to ear, as if he's moving around the room, kind of pacing, getting his thoughts out. And
Yeah.
that was a very interesting kind of, I guess, sensation to be had. Though, one thing I don't like about the second part is it scares me every fucking time I listen to the song.
I think that's part of the
Yeah,
experience.
it's a minute of silence, and then you're kind of like, what's going on? And it startles you, and even, like, the first time it really got me, but every time afterwards, even though I know it's coming, I, like, stop paying attention and do something else, and then it comes back, and it fucking gets me, and I hate it.
Tyler, what's your opinion of Peanuts?
I think it's good. I think I like it better than Jay.
Yeah.
in that second part, doesn't disturb me as much because I'm used to that. I'm used to, like, a lot of tracks having, like, secret second parts or whatever, and especially in the second part, I love the ties to a lot of nature. It's kind of a bit more hopeful than, like, the first part. It's more like dream forward.
I think
Get
maybe
that.
that's why Peanuts is on the same track as One Kind of People.
Yeah.
Kind of balance it out.
Yeah, because One Kind of People ends on it's almost that same sour note that last week's song of mine ended with.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, that's it. Everyone dies, that kind of ending. But Peanuts itself focuses on Amigo the person. Or I guess not necessarily Amigo the person, but the character Amigo is playing in the song Peanuts. I don't know if it's technically supposed to be him or a unique character. It's such a short song, it doesn't matter. But it's a good song, and I think maybe that's why I don't mind it so much, is that I genuinely love the two as a duo
As a pair.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that. I have one more thing to say on One Kind of People, which is, like, I do like the song a lot. I just wish it was a little bit more complex instrumentally, because it's, like, the only instrumental is that banjo.
And I think that might be part of his act as a solo artist.
Yeah, and, like, I get it, but, like, there was, like, a little bit of tease where I think in the pre-chorus, right before the first chorus, there's a few backup vocals for, like, one line, and then nothing else for the entire rest of it. And I was just dying for, like, a drum beat, a little bit more backup vocals, something else to just, like, elevate it. I was hoping, like, for maybe it would kick in halfway, like, after the chorus or during the chorus or something like that. I just kind of wish it was a little bit more complex and giving me something to listen to during it.
If I remember right, I think there are other tracks on the album One Kind of People appears on that have that instrumentation, but it might be that the specific album itself is a solo album, because that's what all of his albums up to this point, even after this one released have been, especially the live Grotto Sessions album, which is just him, a banjo, and a waterfall grotto that he's playing in.
Interesting.
It's a lovely album. His music's very good. If you like a dude going fucking ham on a banjo and singing about death and weird shit, like him hoping that that this woman he loves, his husband, dies so that he can get with her and be like reasonably like, not me trying to get you to cheat on your husband because he's dead, you know.
Wow, so lovely.
He's very tongue-in-cheek with his concepts, and One Kind of People is no exception to that.
That's interesting.
Because one of them is just about Jeffrey Dahmer going to Hollywood.
Oh.
But anyway, Jay's song.
Yeah, I guess I'll move on to my song, which is The Hound and the Fox by I the Mighty. And I'll do a little bit of preamble on this because I think it's interesting. Not necessarily on the song itself, but where the song comes from. This song, specifically this version of the song, is a remake of the song by the same name by the same band, except it's in a different genre.
Do you want to say what album the version we're talking about today is from?
Yes, so this is off the EP Oil and Water. The original is off of their album Connector. And I the Mighty is usually an alt/punk rock kind of band, and this version of it is jazz.
Specifically swing jazz.
Yes. This EP is all made up of songs from their album Connector, just reimagined in different genres. Like this one's jazz, there's one that's in bluegrass, one that's electronic, one that's a cappella. And I just think that's very neat, but I will let you guys discuss the song itself.
I do want to ask, is there a particular reason why you picked this version of the song over the original version?
This is the song that I heard this first. This was the first song I heard by this band, and only recently did I do more of a deep dive into this EP and the rest of the band. Because I heard this and I was like, ooh, this is really good, and then I checked their Spotify, and usually every time I hear one song by a band and then I check their Spotify and the top song is the song I just heard, I'm like, oh, nothing else is gonna live up to this, so I might as well not even bother deep diving. But because I was thinking about discussing this one on the podcast, I was like, okay, I'll look a little bit more into it, because I had looked into the lyrics a while ago, and then it alluded to this EP, and I was like, that's really weird. And I listened to the other version once, didn't really like it that much. It feels very kind of unpolished. The vocals are a little too strained for me, and I just really like this version because it's a lot prettier, and it's a lot, it just sounds so much better to me.
Alright, I think that's a very interesting explanation, because my personal opinion of this song is that, you know what, I think I'll talk about the song itself and my vibes with the specific song we're talking about today, rather than anything that exists outside of the song itself. I like this song, genuinely. I think that they did a good job, especially with the instrumental, especially since they are not traditionally a jazz band. I wonder if this is them playing the instruments themselves, or if it's other people they hired for the album. It's not, I don't know that myself. But if it is the people who made the original version of the song, that's really impressive to be able to so easily meld into a different style and genre.
Yeah.
I could not tell that this was originally a punk band when I first heard this.
Same.
The overall theme of the song is also a really good, interesting thing, especially because since it was originally a punk song, it has all of great things about punk as a genre lyrically, which is its very heavy anarcho anti-capitalist messaging.
Absolutely.
And turning that into a swing jazz song, I find is such an interesting juxtaposition, because jazz itself was used to fight the system it was against when it was first made as a genre. And now we have punk music that's become that go-to, because punk instruments are so easy to come into handling. Even if they're really low quality ones, you can get away with that because of the way that punk's do-it-yourself vibe is. It's very cool, especially, like I said, jazz as a genre initially was this kind of... It wasn't message-wise anti-capitalist, but it was culturally-wise that anti-establishment. And the theme of the song of radicalizing the working class through the use of your own agency as a person...
Yeah.
To then turn you into a weapon against the system. I would almost say it's trite in the punk genre, but they pull it off very well here. Tyler, do you have anything to say about that?
I don't know. I think the track's fine. The idea of the EP is really interesting. Remixing your own songs and like putting them in different genres is kind of unique. And like I like that idea.
There's only one other band I know that's done that, actually, which is the other punk rock band I will not shut the fuck up about, Rise Against.
Oh yeah, they did do that.
Ghost Notes, was it Ghost Notes Symphony?
I think so.
It's an album they released last year. They did a full string orchestra versions of their songs.
Wow, that's neat.
It's worth checking out.
But other than that, I think I'm very picky about my jazz, and it's kind of standard, like big band and swing jazz. Like I feel like jazz needs to keep me interested or make me chill out. I don't know. This is like, it feels very mechanical, but knowing this is coming from like a punk band, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a good song mechanically, like style and professional quality.
Yeah.
It's just fine in terms of what it's trying to emulate. But like I said, it's impressive that a punk band managed to do this. I don't, however, like the fact that it's very obvious this was not originally a jazz song. Yeah. Every single part of this song so loudly screams that it was a punk song, even though they tried really hard to make the lyrics a little different to fit the vibe they were making. I don't think they did a good job changing that enough for it to not be very clear and obvious. But I don't think that's a mark against the song as a lovely interpretation of what is a pretty standard punk rock song.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I will say to its favor, especially lyrically, is the idea of turning the Fox and the Hound narrative structure as it's the foxes who suppress the hounds as opposed to the hounds who suppress the foxes. Because historically, foxes being hunting dogs, specifically, hounds being hunting dogs to kill foxes because they were more or less pests on a farm because they wanted to kill your chickens. I like that they flipped it to the big cat capitalists are foxes, and they have in turn suppressed the hounds into almost forgetting the initial power structure that was held to them, because the working class used to be more powerful and have become more and more weak as time has gone on.
It's also kind of a pun because Fox News...
Is it?
Yeah, and in an interview talking about this, the lead singer and writer of this song actually said, like, directly about Fox News, reveal yourselves to be hypocrites and corrupt for what you actually are.
That's very interesting. Overall, I will say this is definitely a song to listen to, and if you have any interest in hearing the original version and you think that you like it, I would say check out the rest of their music. To me, it seems like the other version of this song is much more like their style, and in fact is representative of most of the music they make.
Yeah, I went back kind of doing research about this song, and I listened to the entirety of Oil and Water, which is the EP, next to their original counterparts, like back to back, and I have to say I really like their original music that they do. Like, I honestly think The Hound and the Fox, the original version, is kind of one of their weakest, because the rest of their stuff is really good. I've already said the rest of their stuff is pretty good alt rock, and I like that a lot.
I don't even think it's alt rock.
The Hound and the Fox actually is...
Is it really that different?
Yeah, well, not incredibly different, but the Hound and the Fox is definitely a lot more of a harsh punk track. The rest of their stuff is kind of, I'd say, akin to like All Time Low. I'd say, where it's a little bit softer, but still got a little bit of a punk edge, but it's definitely not as harsh. This one definitely seems like it was letting out this frustration into a more punk song, and it's a little bit out of character from what I've seen from the rest of their music.
All right, then. Well, I think that's all I have to say about this song. It's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah. I think with that, if you're liking the idea of a comedy rap song, I guess listen to The Bean Kicked In.
If you want a man screaming in a booth for like 2 minutes, listen to Zack Fox.
Yeah, you want to hear a man say some funny words after he says a really impressive rap rhyme? Listen to The Bean Kicked In. Jay, I don't know what you have to recommend about Amigo the Devil today.
I'd say listen to this song a couple times. It's pretty good.
If you want to folksy 5-minute song.
Yeah, it is 5 minutes long because of the fact that it's 2 songs.
Yeah, it is 5 minutes. Like, just put it on and then listen to the former one kind of people, and then absolutely forget you're listening to the song in the 1 minute of silence, and that gets the shit startled out of you when Peanuts starts playing.
Absolutely. And for Hound and the Fox, I think they're just an interesting band to check out. Like, I don't think anything about the specific song we talked about today has anything to say about them as a music group. Check them out. Oh my god.
Yeah, check out the EP, definitely.
Unique. I can say for a fact that I don't think I've seen a band do something like this before, really. Not like anything outside of like electronic artists.
Yeah, I'd check out the EP Oil and Water, and if you like more alt kind of punk rock, I'd check out the album that these songs came from, Connector.
Yeah, and with that said, I think that's it for today. We've talked these songs to death, some more than others.
Sorry.
Sorry, women.
I'm sorry, women.
Sorry, women.
Alright, and that's it for today. Bye!
See ya.
Bye.
Special thanks to Tyler Rodriguez for supporting us on Patreon at the $20 level. If you wish to join him, you can do so at patreon.com/TheFableFew and support us at $20 or above to have your name read out here.